All right,
There
there
we
we go.
go.
Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. So welcome everyone to the Fairhaven Community Management Team meeting for the month of August. I can't believe the time is just flying by so quickly. I just wanted to say hello to everyone here in person. Good evening and welcome. Good evening to everyone joining us via Zoom. Just wanted to go over some really quick ground rules. We want to focus on no fault problem solving. If you are one that has a tendency to kind of talk a little bit more than others, just try to take a step back and let someone else chime in. We always operate with open, honest, and a safe space, open, honest communication in a safe space. Listen with open minds, believe in everyone's best intentions, and be action oriented. We decide what we want, when we want it, and plan for it to happen. And we are Fairhaven centered collaboration. We want to start, proceed, and end on time to honor the agenda and everyone else's time. So welcome everyone coming in as well just now here in the library. If you wanted to joining us via Zoom, if you do not want to show up on camera, that's fine. You can just turn your camera off. We want to make sure everyone stays muted while others are talking and giving presentations so that it doesn't interfere with the frequency. And I'd like to officially call the meeting to order. And I'll start off with the roll call of our board. We have Gina. Present. Abby. Present. Adam.
Present.
And me, Liz, I'm here. Lee was unable to make it. He should be popping in for the announcements to make a brief announcement later on. And Christina is out as well. She's out traveling. So that's why she's not here tonight. And we are going to move forward before we ask for approval of the meeting minutes. Have we established quorum yet, Adam? I don't think so.
No, but we're also going to hold off on last month's meeting minutes because of the tech error.
Okay, yeah, no problem. That's okay. So we'll move on with the financial report from our treasurer, Ms. Gina Pavin.
Since we did not have a meeting in July, I have two reports. I have a July financial report where the June ending balance was $4,395.03. We had no expenditures, no deposits. For the July financial report, we have a July ending balance of $4,384.93, and that's due to $10.10 of expenditures for Spanish translation features. And that's it for June and July.
Thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate it. Next up, we have.
Before we move on from that, I just wanted to throw in there that we're kind of evaluating the Spanish translation on Zoom. So if you are bilingual and you can activate it, it's down in the caption settings. We're kind of curious how helpful it is, because we want to be able to get, everyone in the community, if you speak English, you don't speak English, whatever. So we thought that might be helpful, but if it's terrible translations, that doesn't help anybody. So any feedback you have is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for adding that, Adam. I really appreciate it. I do need to overlook that, please. And we have from the New Haven Police Department, our new Sergeant Alvarado here.
Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for having me. Sorry, Sergeant Chris Alvarado, thank you for having me. I'm the new district manager here in Fairhaven. Been about a month already, and I met a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to continue meeting more people. It's been a good transition so far. Just a little bit about me. I've been here about 15 years. I was in the FBI task force, and major crime supervisor, investigating homicides, robberies, all the violent crime stuff prior to this assignment. So a little bit of change of pace for me, especially getting back in uniform, but it's been fun so far, being out with the community. I haven't had this much community interaction in a while since I'm always doing investigations. You don't really come across that too much, but I've met a lot of people so far. It's been great, so I'm looking forward to the partnership. Lieutenant Fumiati is now moved on to a new position, so he's officially transitioned over. So that's about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to come tonight and say hello and also introduce Sergeant Alvarado. He and I have been working together. We'll continue to work together to make sure that the transition is smooth. I've taken over a new role at the police department as the mental health and wellness coordinator, which is quite an undertaking. I've been incredibly busy, but not as busy as Sergeant Alvarado's been the last couple of weeks. And so he and I are going to still work together. If anyone still wants to reach out to me, or I can always, basically he and I are working together. I'm pushing all of the Fairhaven stuff to him. And so any issues that you have, you can still reach out to me, and I'll gladly just forward the information on to him so that we can make the transition as smooth as possible.
I speak Spanish too. It's not the perfect Spanish, but I understand 100%, and we'll make it work. Yeah, so I just to go over some numbers for the month of July. In Fairhaven alone, we had 647 calls for service, about 91 arrests. As far as trends, looks like we had a couple burglaries, not much. It looks like the Grand Avenue and James construction site got hit a couple times. Looks like there might be an arrest coming on that one. They've since hired private security moving forward. 24/7 construction crews are not there. Some firearm discharges, nothing to alarm the public. They're not at random acts of violence. It looks like they've been targeted, and our detective bureau has been working on it. Same with the robberies and the and as far as motor vehicle thefts, we're continuing getting the thefts with the cars. They're basically smashing the rear windows out of these Kias and Hyundais and sticking a screwdriver in them.
If anyone has, so the department received a number of the old school locks, the lock your steering wheel. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Steering wheel locks.
Steering wheel lock door. So we have a bunch of them at the front desk, and so if you show up with your registration for your car that says it's a Kia, that meets the requirements. I think it's like 2014 to 2021, and a New Haven, an ID that has a New Haven address on it. We'll give you one of those steering wheel locks for free. So if you have a Kia or a Hyundai, we'd encourage anybody that is in that time period to get one of those. I know that they were requested quite a bit. I think the library had one for a while here.
Yeah.
But so the front desk of the police department at 1 Union Avenue, you can go and just give your ID and your registration for your vehicle to the front desk sergeant, and they'll give you one of the steering wheel.
I actually stole a box, so come to Blacksley Avenue substation. Let me know. I didn't steal it, but you know what I mean.
Right.
We'll go ahead and I could get it to you too. I could put. I think my contact information was on the agenda,
Yes, it is.
so feel free to call, text me. When feasible, email, and we can make that work.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sergeant Alvarado, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions before we let them? Sometimes. Any questions online? I'm not seeing anything.
I see
but-
none. No?
Any questions here in the house? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Welcome.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I move the seats over here.
Thank you.
Next up with Livable City Initiative, we have Ms. Carmen Mendez joining us via Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
It was a little quiet, but yeah.
Should I speak a little louder?
No, yeah, that's good. I think you're good.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope that all of you are well and battling this heat as well as you can. I'm Carmen, the Fairhaven Neighborhood Specialist. And the past 5 weeks, I've been working with Youth at Work program. We have been walking up and down streets and cleaning them. Ferry Street, Bright Street, Poplar Street, Haven. We've done numerous streets, and the kids were very happy. It's a work program, so the kids can get a chance to figure out how it's going to be for them when they go out to a real job. So kids have to show up on time. Kids, are told when to go out to break, when they can't do it, when they could leave, because they're not used to that kind of structure. So we're trying to make it possible for them to get a feel for what a workday feels like for everyone and what they're going to feel like in a year or two. They were excited about doing their jobs. They wanted to do a good job at them, and they were very, 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 very helpful. They received a lot of thank you from the community. People came out and gave them all water or iced teas or pizza. I mean, it was a really wonderful experience for them as well as for me. It was interesting for me because I'm a lot older than they are. So getting back into that frame of mind so that I could relate to them was really, really interesting. But I'm grateful for that experience. So we have tomorrow is the last day that the kids will be with me. And then I'll be doing my rounds again in Fairhaven and doing my notices of violation or my citations. But for the last 5 weeks, that's what I've been doing. I've been working with the Youth at Work program kids. Any
That's all.
questions?
I don't see any questions here in the library. I mean, oh, Dennis,
Yeah, I got one quick. Carmen, are any other areas of New Haven experiencing the amount of trash dumping we're experiencing in Fairhaven?
I'm glad you asked that question. I have asked because I hate to feel like Fairhaven is, the stick in the mud. But I have talked to the other neighborhood specialists, and they have said that they have seen a real big uptick on the trash all over the place. It's not just Fairhaven. I was beginning to feel really upset, but when they told me no, it's in their districts too, I kind of chilled for a little bit. But it makes us wonder what we can do about all this littering and all this bulk trash dumping that's going on. I mean, it's out of control. And we don't know as neighborhood specialists what else we can do to get our neighborhoods in order other than writing people up, which no one wants to do because it can really cost someone $100 a day. And if they don't do it over the course of 3 citations, it can go up to $1,000 a day. And we don't want anyone to have to bear that type of an expense. But we also want them to know that we expect for them to keep their sidewalks clean, their curb lines clean, their front yards clean, their side yards clean, their backyards clean. We're trying to get the message out. We were giving out bags with all sorts of information from the health department, from LCI, with all the rules, regulations, policies. There were very nice bags. I wonder if they've read the stuff inside, but we have made a real effort to try to educate the residents about our policies and procedures. But it's happening all over the city. It's not just Fairhaven.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Carmen, I half remember that LCI was supposed to get kind of a funding boost in the newest city budget and hire more people. Is there like a update on how that's going? Are you gonna get more help soon or all that kind of stuff?
We desperately need the help. Let me tell you, it would be very good for the neighborhood specialist to have an administrative assistant so we can call in the complaints and have them type it up. And we can stay out on the field more because right now, as it is, we go out in the field and we collect addresses and the conditions and whatnot. And then we have to come into the office and spend numerous hours writing letters. They are spending more money with the housing code inspections division. That is my understanding. That they're going to hire more inspectors, housing code inspectors. I don't see that there's any more money coming in for the neighborhood specialists or that division at all, or for the maintenance crew. I think it's really a housing code inspection boost.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up to Mr. Silvestri's comment question, and I had a question myself. So just to clarify, this morning, because garbage day is Fairhaven today, code enforcement is literally behind the garbage trucks this morning, and so I think they're really trying to fix that throughout the city. That's the first I've ever seen that in 6 years. So, you know, in one of the, let's see, trying to take that seriously, this code enforcement, I've never seen them behind the garbage trucks, and that's what they were doing this morning. I'm not sure if you guys know anything about that comment, or if you were informed, but I did see that this morning. And the question I have is, what can we do? Just, you know, after you answered Adam's question, the question just came to my mind of what can we do as community members to, like, I guess, demand that everyone, you know, y'all get more money too for what you need to in your office and everything. Is there a way to try to help with that? I don't know.
No, I think it's I think that was during the budget hearings. I don't think that there's anything really that can be done now, but obviously next year there'll be an opportunity for people to, you know, have be a part of the hearings and tell people what, you know, tell the board or tell the directors what you guys would like to see happen. I mean, there's always that opportunity. But really what we have settled for this year is already done.
Okay. All right, thank you. It was just like an after, but thank you so much, Carmen. Any other questions for Carmen, either here in the library or online? I don't see anything here in the library, and I don't see anything online unless I'm missing it, Adam.
No, I don't see anything either.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much as always, Carmen, and we have your contact information here on the agenda as well as in the chat for anyone that needs to reach out to you directly. Really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. You can always call me, and I always have my phone on. So, and if I miss your call, I will call you back.
Yes, thank you. I know for a fact that you do. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. So just a quick reminder that J1 Carter does our quarterly presentation for the Civilian Review Board. If you need to reach out to him regarding any kind of situations with, sorry, let me just, I'll try to unpin her really quick. Apologize. Okay, there we are. Sorry about that. So just a reminder of the quarterly presentation that the Civilian Review Board led by J1 Carter does. His email address is j1.carter@gmail.com in case you want to reach out to him. It's on the agenda and we'll get that in the chat for you as well. And then moving on with economic development update. Kathleen Prolek usually is either online.
Yes, she actually just let us know that she has ceased working for the city of New Haven.
Oh,
So I don't know if there's somebody else from economic development that is taking her spot, or if that will happen, but.
We should ask for that, but I don't know that that request has been made. So
Yeah.
we should just ask Mike Piscatelli to assign to me.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
And I don't see anyone else from the office in the online chat.
Okay.
Thank you for confirming, Adam. And let's get started with our vision and action for responsive, transparent government, economic community development. We have Carmen Chung with Penrose on Zoom. Let me bring her up. All right, welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I'm Carmen Chung from Penrose, and I actually have a quick PowerPoint presentation because oftentimes with these projects, images are easier than words. So I'm going to be sharing a presentation. Can folks see that?
Yes.
Great. So it's been a little bit of time since I came to the community management team for an update. So here are the 3 things I hope to achieve in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Do a quick schedule update, a design update, and then start talking about community and arts opportunities for the building as we have progressed design. So what we've been working a lot over the last few months is actually getting historic approvals. So the State Historic Preservation Office has a lot of say over what we can or can't do over the building. And we've submitted plans to them and they've approved it at the end of June. So now we're off to the races with financing. So we are working with the State Department of Housing to put in an application for funding because this is affordable housing. My goal is to get in for building permit submission by the end of the year and to start construction early next year. And it's going to be an 18-month construction schedule. So my goal is to open our doors in October of 2025, which seems far away, but is coming up quickly. And I wanted to kind of bring this image up, which is the rendering that we produced during the zoning process. We showed this to Historic, and as I said, they have a lot of say over what we can or can't do. And what they felt about this facade is that the new construction addition to the historic school stands out too much. They wanted to kind of be a little bit more in the background to the historic school. And in order to achieve that, the approach that our architect decided to do was to keep the differences in materials, but maybe go for a more kind of go with colors that are less, I guess. Right now we have 4 different colors, and try to make it 1 or 2 different colors to satisfy historic, and they were okay with that. So I wanted to show what that revised images look like for the community so that everyone is aware. So before I go into that, I wanted to show a precedent image, meaning our architects used this as inspiration for kind of what a building that is kind of comprised of 1 or 2 colors would look like, instead of the 3 or 4 colors that we originally envisioned. And I thought that this was a really bold choice to kind of go with one more primary color. And it reminds me a little bit of a firehouse, but I think that architects will do a really good job of making it a pretty kind of bold and kind of compelling color that will help fit into kind of the more arts and vibrant community we're trying to create. So it's kind of hard to imagine because these 2D images are very flat, but this is an elevation of the building from Perkins Street, where the historic school is on the left, the new construction additions on the right. So right below that kind of second mural locations, that is where the main entrance will be. And it's going to be different kind of shades of red with brick, with hardy siding, and with this kind of tile on the right for the lower right lighter red color. So this is the approach that we are moving forward with. This isn't a rendering, so it's hard to kind of imagine what this will look like, which is why I showed that picture. But I think that this will be a really kind of bolder choice, but done right will look really great. So now I also want to dive a little bit deeper into the community space that we've always envisioned in reusing the auditorium. And this is kind of a plan. I wanted to walk everyone through how the public would access this space. So on the bottom is Grand Avenue, and the steps, just going back to the steps that exist right now, we're keeping those. So someone could walk up those steps. So you can see this public access arrow. So someone can walk up those steps, but we're also going to be creating an accessible access. So there's going to be a ramp that will go up from the street to the building also. Once you enter into the vestibule to the right, this is the kind of the former auditorium that we all know. It's going to be largely stay in the current configuration. We're going to add some gender neutral bathrooms where the kind of refrigerators and old kitchen used to be. We're going to add kind of a space for when events happen and there's food, that there's counter space, there's a fridge, there's a sink to facilitate some of those community events that might have food incorporated. We're going to add a lift to make the stage accessible, because that's going to be a code requirement. And then we're going to add a small office for the New Haven Pride Center, which are partners on the project. So the public can access this space through Grand Avenue. There will be kind of controlled access, but when we have larger kind of community events that are open to the public, will provide access to the public through this method. And then the residents will also have access directly to this space from interior of the building. And I also wanted to start showing what units will look like. So I just pulled out 2 kind of typical or typical unit plans for 1 bedroom and a 2-bedroom. On the left, you'll see a 1-bedroom with a kind of open kitchen concept, dining, living area. There's a coat closet to make a right from the dining area. There's a linen closet, a bathroom, storage, and then a bedroom with a closet. So pretty standard kind of 1-bedroom, about 800 square feet, a 2-bedroom, not that different, except the storage is probably a little larger, closer to 1,000 square feet. So I also wanted to highlight all the different ways in which we are creating space for murals and art that would love community feedback on. So there are two areas of the exterior on Perkins Street where we would love to have a mural, work with the community on that. And entering, looking at this, all these windows in the middle, it's kind of going to be a staircase area where we could actually add some more art to the wall of that staircase so that you can see it from the outside. So entering from the main entrance, if you go in to the left, we'll kind of see this image on the left here. Once you walk in, you turn left, you actually see the staircase and the elevators. So one of another opportunity to kind of have community help make its mark on this building is these stairs are actually really wide and tall and are more like seating as opposed to stairs on the left here. And there are opportunities here to utilize this for some community art or the wall adjacent to the staircase, as I mentioned earlier. And then behind the auditorium in the historic school, there's also some wall space that could be a good opportunity for hanging art, visual arts. On the left, this is a picture of the interior of the building where that hallway is. So a lot of this is now cleared out, but we can add some light and some hanging systems to put some art there if that might be a good idea. On the right is a kind of an example from a project we just did in Boston where we had a long hallway, add some art, some light to put light on the artwork and a hanging system to have potentially a rotating display. So that was just a quick update. And if anyone has any ideas for the arts pieces, how to incorporate those, who we can work with to think about murals or visual arts, I put my email here too. So I'll stop there for questions.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've got a quick one. The first 3 floor plan layouts that you had shown in your PowerPoint, can you make those available? I would just like to study them. I don't question them. I just like to study them in more detail at my leisure.
Are you talking about
Yep,
the unit plans? Yeah, I'm happy to make this available. I can send it out to the community management team and they can post it with the minutes, maybe?
Yep, that'll be fine if that's good with our leaders.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate that.
Any additional question? Alder Miller and Abby, you got questions?
Just quickly, I just want to share with everybody that this city staff and I have been meeting with Carmen bi-weekly, like since this started. And I just want to appreciate what a good partner she's been. She's, it always comes up when we go back to the community management team, like there's a real commitment to hearing from the community and to creating feedback. So I just want to thank you, Carmen, for being such a great.
Thanks, Sarah.
Abby,
This is kind of a practical question, but I'm curious, Carmen, if doors are opening October 2025, how soon are you going to be having residents start getting lined up? And do you have any idea what that process is going to look like?
Oh, sorry. It's 2026 because we're going to start construction in 2025 and it's 18 months. So it's actually October 2026. But I can still answer that question logistically. So usually 2 to 3 months before we open our doors, we start marketing the project. We're going to put basically banners on the construction fence saying now leasing. We'll have a place on our website. Once we start construction, we'll actually have open up a page on our website where people can write down that they're interested in getting updates and knowing when the application period opens. So we'll open up the application period 2 to 3 months before we open our doors. And then well, I think we need to talk to the city about whether they want it to be a lottery or whether they want it to be a first come, first serve, but it'll either be first come, first serve or a lottery to occupy.
Okay, gotcha, cool.
And I just wanted to mention, a question came up in the chat here from Ms. Sophia Blenman, asking, will community members be prioritized to staff the building to bring local employment to the neighborhood? But I think you kind of answered.
Yeah, so depending on whether it's first come, I guess the leasing up process will either be a lottery for everyone who applies or a first come, first serve. I think those are because this project is affordable housing, we have to follow fair housing laws pretty.
Sorry, Carmen. I think the question is not about who gets the apartments, but who's staffing the building.
Oh, for hiring. Okay. We would love if there's a community member who is interested in being the property manager. I think that we would see that very favorably when we're hiring staff.
I see a couple questions here.
I have a question, across from where the building is, we have a big community garden that's a part of Gather, and there are 50 people gardening there. And so they'll start gardening in March. So what I'm hoping is that when you go to take down that part of the building, you put up something that's gonna stop the dust and everything coming into the garden. The other part of the construction doesn't concern us, but it's just when you start to pull that part down, are we gonna debris that's gonna, because people have started to plant their gardens. And I'm just concerned if there's some kind of a small thing that can be put up either on our front, in front of our garden, or across the street, if you could put it up against the fence, if that fence is gonna stay there, just so we don't have any contamination coming into the garden.
Got it. Yes, that's great to know, and thanks for pointing that out. For all of our construction jobs, the contractor has a pretty kind of standard and pretty stringent kind of construction management plan to make sure they're not like water, pests, dust control, erosion control, all those pieces. But I'll point that out to the contractor also to make sure that we're adequately prepared to not impact the garden that's across the street.
Thank you. Thank you. There's one question here, and then I'll get to the question in the chat. Go ahead, sir.
For the artwork, I have a recommendation to keep it local sites, like a timeline of past, but including the future. With the artist, the other thing is, I apologize for that. 1-bedroom apartment size is how much? I understood 2-bedroom as 1,000 square feet, but 1-bedroom is how much? How many square feet?
Yeah, so these are typical. I mean, there are different unit sizes, but a typical 1-bedroom unit size is about 800 square feet, and a 2-bedroom is about 1,000 square feet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And sorry, I didn't catch the first comment or question.
So the comment was, he was just stating that he would prefer, hopefully, that you just have local artists displayed if when you put art on the in the hallway, you know, throughout the year.
Timeline.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that would be our preference too. We would love to highlight local artists and local art.
And there's a question in the chat from Maureen. She was just asking if you are finding unexpected toxic materials in the building.
Unexpected cost of materials?
Toxic.
Oh, no. With most buildings of this age, there is asbestos in the building. So when we work in the building, we will be abating all the asbestos, and we'll have a kind of licensed contractor that's licensed to handle that. But There's nothing out of the ordinary of the building for projects like this, like old 100-year schools, pretty standard kind of asbestos containing materials with like flooring and some things like that.
Wall
coverings,
Yeah.
All right. I think we have one question here. Yes, sir, in the library.
Oh, hi. When developers in the area build like the new luxury housing around, it seems like their timeline is very short from getting approvals to construction to move in. And this is like almost a 3-year timeline. Why is it so long and is all your financing in place?
Yeah, so I think we were approved last year. So between now and when we're closing is probably a year and a half. Construction's taking a year and a half. The reason why it's different than market rate housing is because the resources to build affordable housing are competitive resources that we have to apply for from the state. It's not like we just go to a bank and we get a loan or equity because the revenue generated from these projects are much lower because that's the whole point of the project, that we are not collecting as much rent from residents as a typical market rate project, which means that in order to build it, because quite frankly, we have a lot of standards we need to meet that are sometimes even higher than what market rate developers have to meet. The cost of construction is the same, if not more, and we have less rents to collect. So the difference has to be collected through, raised through applying for competitive financing from the state and other sources. So that's why the timeline for projects like this often take a little longer. Added on the extra layer of complexity of this being a historic project, and we needed historic approvals also before we could proceed.
And so is the financing all in place?
So right now the major piece is going to Department of Housing for funding. We are in conversations with them. We hope to have that secured in the next month or two, and the city is involved in those conversations also.
Thank you. Any additional questions either online or here in the library? I don't see anything here in the library. Do you see anything online, Adam? I'm not.
I see none now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carmen. I really do appreciate the update.
Great.
All right,
Thanks, everyone.
Bruce should be online to give us a little bit of information regarding places for a peace mural in front of the Fairhaven Library.
Thank you, everyone. I am on. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. First of all, fellow people from Fairhaven, I apologize. I have to be at the building where I work for a meeting, but I didn't want to pass up the opportunity to tell you about an exciting new project that's coming our way. Some of you may have seen that during the Festival of Arts and Ideas, I led a group of over 30 people on a bicycle tour around Fairhaven, looking at all the wonderful public art that we have. It was very successful, and it put me in contact with a group that is connected to a local muralist artist named Mitch Rimbert. Now, if the name Rimbert sounds familiar to you, it may be because he's the son of internationally known artist Winfred Rimbert from Newhallville. The dad, Winfred, passed away a couple of years ago. The son continues to work in the field of art. He's working with Creative Arts Workshop here on Audubon Street, right next door to where I work. And they, in turn, are working with a New York-based nonprofit called City Art. It is City Art that has received a substantial gift to work with people all over the world to create murals that are themed with peace. This is my attempt to explain to you what this project is and also to ask for your help. We are very close. On Monday, the Board of Alders is going to vote through a thing called unanimous consent which means that it will surely pass because they've agreed that this is a worthy project. That there will be a mural on the front of the very building you're sitting in if you're at the library. It will be right on the front of the building. The main artist is Mitch Rimber, but Mitch is working from over 100 pieces of art that were submitted by kids, young people, mainly high school students from New Haven. They, like young people all over the world, have been connected to a local artist, and it is the drawings that they make that will inform the artist's mural that will go on the front of the building. Obviously, it will be approved by the city. It's a city building. There's a process, but it's been agreed to. And this mural should be going up once the vote happens. I think it's August 5th. The very next day, Mitch is going to start. We have faith that we're going to be able to do this, but we do have a campaign to raise money. To be honest with you, we need to raise $15,000. We have between online and through direct donations, about 3,000 of the 15. I have some donors lined up that are people who support the arts, who work with youth. I'm confident we can raise the money. But the reason why I'm coming before you is not just to inform you, it's to ask you to help this local artist, because 100% of the money we give in New Haven will go to this mural in Fairhaven. We're asking individuals, businesses, nonprofits to donate what they can. When you go to the website where you can donate, which we will provide you the link this evening, and we'll provide it later on with the recorded minutes and so on and so forth, you will see that there's a donation of $10 and there's a donation of $500. Any amount you can donate would be appreciated, because this is about showing how much support there is for local artists and for local young people. All the art submitted by young people from New Haven will go up on a website that can be seen everywhere in the world that will show art. Right now, they're up to 126 countries, 126 countries where this has already happened. We are fortunate also to have art from about 60 countries here in New Haven that will go up inside the library in the next week or so, along with the art from the kids from New Haven. Combined together, maybe 60, 100 pieces of art will be visible at the library. And then again, next week, Mitch is going to start painting the mural, because City Art is fronting all the money. They're also covering all the administrative costs. They're also purchasing the paint. So we're really just talking about 100% support for the local artists. Also, the paint will be bought at Grand Paint right in Fairhaven. So we're benefiting a local business, and they're specifically buying Benjamin Moore non-toxic paint. So everything is being done to make the project as local as possible, to make it as environmentally friendly as possible, to raise the money from as many people as can donate whatever they can donate. So my ask of you is please donate to this project. If you know how to donate online and feel comfortable doing that, I saw that the link was put up. We're going to provide that again. If that's not your thing, we will provide you with the street address of City Art, and the check that you write should say in the memo line, New Haven mural. And then all of that money, with no percentage being taken by them, will come back to New Haven for this mural. Please do what you can. I understand that not everyone is capable of giving, but if you are, even if it's $10, when the artists are painting, if people come by, depending on what they're doing, you might be able to actually participate in painting the mural. You certainly will be able to document it, and it will be there for a very long time, showing New Haven youth thinking about what it means to have a peaceful world. I thank you very much for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions people might have about this project.
Thank you, Lee. Any questions, either here in the library or online? I don't see any questions here in the library.
Not online either.
All right, thank you, Adam. Thank you for double checking for me. Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much.
I thank everyone for your time. I apologize again for not being there in person, and only ask that you join me as a donor for this project. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lee. Bye. Next up, we have under Environment and Immigration, Alder Sarah Miller to discuss the city seed building acquisition.
Okay, so I'm doing a few different things here. I thought I might have to do that presentation about the murals. Sorry. Shirley was gonna be able to get away. So I just want to let everybody know, I don't have a slide deck, but I want to make sure that people know that City Seed purchased the former Connecticut Laminating Company building at the corner of at 162 James Street, at the corner of James and Haven. And I have a new job as executive director of City Seed. So yes, it's very exciting. And the plan is it's an 18,000 square foot building. And part of what really got me excited about the job is the potential of that building to really lift up that part of the neighborhood. It's right by Martinez School. We're looking at the Mill River at English Station. And it's right now just an empty former factory. It was the Gantt shirt factory back in the 40s and 50s. And then it was Connecticut Laminating. They had the contract to make all the military IDs for the whole country. He lost the contract during COVID, and so it's been empty for 3 years. We had 100 people working there at one point. And it's been empty since then. City Seed acquired the building following a 10-year process of trying to set up a food hub for New Haven. So this is a space that will combine lots of different efforts related to food, increasing food access, and supporting food businesses. So entrepreneurs, and growing food too. So the first floor, it's a 2-story building. First floor will be more of like the food hub. Oh, look at that. I didn't even share that. Wow, great job. Good job. So the first floor will have space for different nonprofits. We're talking to a lot of different groups that are interested in being on the first floor. Also probably like a community teaching kitchen and community meeting space. The second floor will be commercial kitchens, and there'll be like a membership structure. So people who want to access the commercial kitchens for their business will be able to become a member at a very low cost and on a sliding scale so that they're accessible to everybody. Use the kitchens for their business. And we'll also, City Seed also has the Food Business Accelerator program with Collab, and does a lot of wraparound support for like early stage food businesses. So all of those services will also be provided out of this building. So we anticipate a lot of activity in the future. It's going to be at least a 2-year process. We're going to have a capital campaign to raise all the money, and then at least a year of construction, potentially more, to get everything built out inside. But it's a great New Haven, great Fairhaven initiative. That's what got me excited about it. And I just want everybody to know, and I'm happy to answer any questions and just obviously keep you updated as the project moves along.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Any questions either online or here in the library? I don't see anything here in the library.
I guess I have a quick question. Will City Seed be expanding its staffing as part of that?
Yes, we will have to. Oh, and I neglected to mention that we have had some community open houses at the building. We did some on the 23rd. Adam was there, trying to think who else was here, some other people, Caroline maybe. So we did one at 11 and 6 so that people with different schedules can come. We're doing it again, here we go, on August 6th next week at 11 and 6. So just open door, come by, tour the space, share your ideas. We really want it to be a space that is where people feel connected, they know what's going on, and feel ownership over the vision as we all kind of carry it forward together.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much. So I don't see any questions online, just double checking really quick. And I don't see anything here in the library, so thank you so much for those. Okay, I appreciate it. Next up, under health, housing, and public safety, online, we have joining us Suzanne Lagarde. Let me pin her really quick to give a quick welcome.
All right, can people hear me okay?
Yes.
Can I share my screen, Adam? Is
Yes,
that, will
there's
that
no
work?
restrictions.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Well, I don't know how, well, I'm gonna leave it like this. I don't know that I can, yeah, I don't know that I can do everything. Slideshow, here we go. How about, okay. Do people see what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Looks like it's a bit off, but it'll do the trick. I have 3 slides, so it's not a lot, but I'm here to tell you about another exciting thing happening in Fairhaven, which is that will be the opening of Grand Pharmacy at the end of this month. Right now, we're hoping for an opening on the last week of August. It's all dependent on us getting the right contracts in place, but we think that that's realistic. Many of you will remember that the Grand Farm, what we're calling Grand Pharmacy at 111 Grand used to be Grand Pizza. Fairhaven Community Healthcare purchased that building earlier this year. And we will be opening a pharmacy run by our health center for not only our patients, but for the community at large. Hours will be Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, Saturday morning. And if demand is such that there is a demand for even more, we're prepared to increase those hours of operation. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this location, but right here towards the back, there is ample parking for about 17 cars. And the map on the left just gives you some sense of where it is on Grand Avenue. The 2 stars are the 2 Fairhaven Health Center buildings, 374 Grand, and the one at River Run at 50 Grand. There was extensive renovation that happened inside. So these 3 pictures are viewed from the inside of the building. Walk-in traffic would come in off of Grand Avenue. We also have on the side of the building handicap access as well. People will come in. There'll be some over-the-counter type products available here. We're looking into the possibility of doing something called DME, which is durable medical equipment that we would sell here as well. You can see in this middle picture where the pharmacist would stand. So sort of the view towards Grand Avenue over here. One of the things that we will be doing here is something called medication MTM, medication therapeutic treatment management, which is actually an opportunity for pharmacists to meet with patients one-on-one, review their medication list, and make recommendations about how one might want to take it. The picture on the right is the pharmacy work area. And the last slide I will show you is sort of a summary of the reasons why this is a big plus for the Fairhaven community. This is a pharmacy that is owned and operated by our clinic. And while patients, because of a federal program called 340B, can avail themselves of some incredible savings, we believe that even at a retail level, for those who are not patients, that there will be savings compared to other pharmacies in the greater New Haven area. One of the huge advantages to our patients is that the pharmacy computer system is part of the electronic medical record of the clinic. So for those patients, for those who are our patients, the communication between pharmacist and clinician is instantaneous in real time. The pharmacist can see the patient's records, see things like allergies. The clinician can ask the pharmacist recommendations regarding best drugs to use in a particular circumstance, cost, etc. We are hiring a bilingual pharmacy tech so that we're ensuring that there's no communication challenges. For those who are patients of the clinic, this 340B program that I just referred to allows us to share medications at incredible savings. On average, that's about 40% of what you would consider retail price. It varies depending on the particular drug, but there are some medications that we can sell to our uninsured patients at incredibly low and affordable prices. Obviously, we will accept all insurances, including Medicaid. We also will have same day delivery. Right now, we have another pharmacy site. It's at our Shoreline location, and about 50% of medications are currently going by delivery, but we're going to have the capability to deliver pretty much to anyone if that's what they would like. Free medication packaging. This is something you see over here on the right. This is something that allows, particularly for patients who are on a number of medications, it gets confusing. We can package all medications, so it makes compliance and taking the medications much easier. And while we see this as a huge resource for our patients, we also see it as, and hope it will be a resource for the community, and any profits from the pharmacy go towards get reinfused back into the clinic, into patient care, and to services for those who either are uninsured or underinsured. And with that, since I said I would keep it brief, I'll stop, but I don't know if there are any questions. There'll be more notices coming as to the exact date, but please look for this. We anticipate it to be by the end of this month. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I do have a question here, and I'll get to you, Dennis. Go ahead.
Yes.
Hi,
Sorry.
Hi, Dr. Lagarde. I just was wondering if the new space is going to be accessible for people with disabilities.
Yes, so I showed you the entrance off Grand Avenue, and towards the back of the building, there is a handicap accessible entrance.
Great, thank you.
It's off the parking lot. It's directly off the parking lot and behind the building.
Okay, thanks.
Dennis, you had a question? Go ahead.
I understand you said the general public with authorized doctor prescriptions could also use the services.
Absolutely. This is
Okay.
no different to CVS, Rite Aid. We're open to the public. One of the things I didn't mention that we will be doing is we also have a partnership with a company, a nonprofit called Disaster Relief. What they offer to us are a number of what we call over-the-counter medications, toiletries, free of charge. It varies month to month, so we can't sort of say we will have this month. But if looking at what they have available, I anticipate that we're going to be able to make available free of charge things like hand sanitizers, sunscreens, acetaminophen, like Tylenol, right, or a Tylenol equivalent. So that will be another a plus of our of this particular pharmacy.
Thank you, Adam. I see your hand up.
Yeah, I want to preface this with I am an employee of the Fairhaven Community Healthcare Clinic. I am totally shilling with this question, but so following up with what Dennis just said, sounds like I can come in with my insurance and have all of my purchases from the pharmacy help uninsured and underinsured Fairhaveners. Does that sound correct?
We have this program because of our status as a federally qualified health center. It's called 340B. It's a federal program. What it now enables us to do is two things. One is because we are able to buy medications literally at government prices. I'll give you an example. I mean, this is an extreme example. They're not all like this, but I can buy a certain type of insulin, a month's supply, for 15 cents. That's an extreme. It's not always like that, but there's no question that the medications we can purchase at 340B prices is much below retail. And the only issue is, though, the federal government allows us only to use it on Fairhaven patients, right? So, but if you're a Fairhaven patient and you come in and you're uninsured, I can and do, and we will transfer that price to you along with a small dispense fee, $5 or something. So I'm not sure what the number is, but very small. The other advantage is if that you're somebody who has an insurance, let's say your employer provides an insurance like Anthem or Aetna, and you come and get your scripts there, I can still, and you're a patient, again, this is for our patients by federal law, but if you're a patient, I can still buy the same medication that you're on for much cheaper, but your insurance reimburses a standard rate. So there's a significant profit there. And we depend heavily on those profits to reinfuse them back into programs for our uninsured and underinsured patients. As many of you know, we turn no one away. Everybody who needs care can come to Fairhaven and get the care. Obviously, we have to figure out ways to cover those costs, and this is one of those ways. So, and then of course, if you came to us, even not as our patient, but as a retail pharmacy, instead of going to CVS or Walgreens or wherever you choose to go, there's profit there too. It's smaller, but again, the goal is, every penny that comes in as profit gets reinfused back into other programs at Fairhaven. So it's multifaceted, and there are lots of ways in which your participation, which can benefit you, can also benefit the patients we serve.
Thank you, Dr. Legard. Any additional questions or comments, either online or here at the library? Don't see anything here in the library. Anything online? I don't know. I'm double checking here.
I see none, no.
I thank you so much, Dr. Legard. I'm so excited about this.
Thank you, and stay tuned. More to come very soon. You'll be hearing about, our opening, a firm opening date, very, very soon. And again, remembering free delivery, pre-packaging, bilingual staff. I'm hoping you will. I'm encouraging people to give us a look over and see if we can meet your needs to your satisfaction. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Legard. Have a great night. And next up, we'll have Kirk Morrison to give us an update with everything going on at the library. Let me ping him really quick.
Hey, everyone. A few things to mention now that we're in the summer months and the growing months. Beginning last month, for I think this is our 4th or 5th year now, Common Grounds Farm Market takes place each Tuesday on our front lawn. Sounds like at some point you might be able to, while you're on the lawn, see the mural that Lee talked about earlier. But the farm market runs 3 to 5 each Tuesday. Word's getting out again, and so I definitely encourage you to not delay coming because it's very popular. It's their from what I understand, it's their most popular stop on their farm market tour. Also, want to give a shout out to Mary Ann and the other volunteers from Gather New Haven who tend our own gardens here at the rear of the building. Monday is our usual harvest day. Anything that is being harvested is brought in, and it's for you, and it's for free. So as long as the growing season continues, stop in usually on Mondays to check out what the latest harvest is from our gardens right here. You can't get more local, you can't get more fresh than right here. The last thing related to growing is may have mentioned this before, but we debuted a seed library this year. Unlike other library materials, you don't have to bring the seeds back, right? You sign them out. We'll also take any donations of seeds that you might have, but it's been going really well. So stop in sometime to see what we have, and you can start your own garden or add to an existing garden. Couple other things I wanted to highlight. We last month we debuted for elementary school kid level an anime club. So if you have any kids that enjoy manga and anime, send them in here on Wednesday afternoons at 2 o'clock to watch some of their favorite characters and shows right here. Also, we're excited to have the prior to the reopening, we had the Peabody Museum in last fall, and we've been having them again this summer. Folks from the Peabody Museum have been coming in to do family activities, and even bringing some of their artifacts. If you know anyone who loves dinosaurs, have them come in. They will be coming in twice this month. The first time will be this coming Thursday, so that's August 8th from 1 to 3, and then they'll be back the following Thursday, the 15th, for more dinosaur activities right here. And then lastly, I wanted to talk up last summer we had a creative artist named Michael Albert, who finds a great way to make use of packaging that might otherwise be thrown out. He does art projects from it, particularly collages. And we had him in last year, and due to their interest in recycling and the environment, we're partnering with our friends at Save the Sound to have him back in. He'll be here on Thursday, August 22nd, from 4 to 6. To do more, to lead kids and families in more projects in repurposing cardboard. We're excited to see what folks will come up with this year. Hope to see you sometime soon. Glad to have you all here, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Kurt. That's a great minute. Any questions for Kurt before we let him go, either online or here in the library? Don't see any questions here in the library. I'm not seeing anything online yet. I think we are good to go. Thank you so much, Kurt. All right, and we have a couple of announcements coming up. So Abby will be giving an announcement regarding the upcoming elections and open positions within our group.
Yes. Should I move there? Should I
get over it?
Can they see me here?
No.
Okay. Go over here. Hello everyone, and hi everyone over here. I am here to announce that there will be 2 open positions that will be available, and we are excited to fill them in November. I will be stepping down as corresponding secretary, so we are looking for somebody who is interested in communications, who's interested in just like being air traffic control for everything that's going on in the neighborhood. It's a really interesting job. I found that like you kind of always know what's going on because you're, getting the word out. So it's always fun. It's always interesting to be some of the first people to learn about stuff before it gets widely disseminated. So if you're interested in that at all, come talk to me. And then Gina will also be stepping down as financial treasurer. She's done a wonderful job over the past 3 years, 2 years, 2. Okay. So if you are good at numbers and you like keeping track of bank accounts and you have experience with that, come talk to Gina or me. She has also done an enormous amount of work getting our financials in order over the past few years and organizing them. So it is actually going to be a very easy job for the next treasurer because Gina has done so much of that work. So if either of those things sound appealing to you, it's also just a great chance to kind of step forward get more involved in the community. They're just 1-year terms, so you don't, it's kind of a low time commitment. You don't have to stay for 3 years, but even just 1 year is like, it's a great opportunity and great experience. So let us know if you're interested, and that will be November, and then the terms start in January. So.
And I just wanted to throw in those 2 positions we know we're going to have to fill, but you can take any of the 6 positions of the board should you choose. So if you're a voting member, you can be a co-chair or the vice chair or the treasurer or the secretary or the other secretary, whichever one floats your boat. Feel free to kick me out of my job. It's a prayer and democratic election.
That's exactly right. And yeah, we'll have more than one election. So.
Thank you so much, Adam. And we do have one last announcement from Miss Denise D. She is joining us via Zoom from Fairhaven Community Health Center.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for letting me talk to you for a couple moments, just real brief. We are so excited because Health Center Week is next week. So that is a week that every community health center should be stepping up and celebrating our staff, celebrating our patients, celebrating how we're all connected in this big, bright, beautiful community. So you will notice that there are some daily giveaways for patients in the waiting area. This staff has a huge appreciation event on Wednesday. I personally will be sitting in each site in the waiting room. Again, I'm always perpetually working on building bridges with patients and connections and gathering voices and opinions and partnership in order to move our agency forward in the right direction that works for everyone. So I just want to say to anyone that might be visiting us that week, I hope you join in the celebration, and thank you so much for another wonderful year.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Ms. Dean. Have a great night. All right, and now we'll move on to our Albert reports. Did we receive any reports from Albert Ellen Pupo via email? I know she's
no, but she's been out.
Yeah, I know she's out for. All right. Okay, and Alder Caroline Candy Smith is here with us. Yay.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm honored to be the alder for Ward 9, and I'm joined by 2 incredible high school students. If you want to introduce yourself and say your name, grade, and what school you go to.
Hi, I'm Ada. I go to West Haven High School, and I'm currently 15.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I go to New Haven Academy, and I'm 18.
So these 2 are joining me today because we spent most of the day together for an initiative called Alder for a Day, which is just a new opportunity for high school students who are interested in civics and politics to have a pathway to get some exposure and experience. I'm really thrilled to do this in partnership with Kiana, who's here from Junta. These 2 are also members of Junta's Youth Empowerment Program, and so we've had a really wonderful day together. I'll give my 3 updates, and then you 2 can share your favorite part of the day. But it's been a real honor to just spend the day with both of you. And Adam, I know I had a slide. If you would be open to sharing that.
Maybe. I didn't know you had a slide. I have to pull up the
While you're pulling that up, I remember what the updates are. So the 3 main updates. One is an update that I've shared before, which is about the Mill River Underpass Park Project, which is a park project for that underpass on State and James, right behind the Ralph Walker Hockey Rink. And the goal is, can we take that space under the highway that's divided East Rock and Fairhaven since the mid-1900s and turn that into a shared space between both neighborhoods. And so we've been working on this project for the last few months. It's still in the very early stages. Thank you so much for the, I believe, about 80 residents who have filled out our community survey. And also thank you so much to our youth design team. We had our first youth design team meeting a couple months ago. About 20 plus high school students from Metropolitan Business Academy, NHA, and Cross came out to be a part of the beginning stages of reimagining the space into a place that can be a park and an asset for the neighborhood. And so if you are interested in taking that community survey, we'll include it in the minutes, or you can also add it to the chat as well. And our next meeting will be on September 10th, which is a Tuesday at 6. We're doing that meeting in partnership with a really cool group called New Haven Sketchers, which is a group that travels around the city and invites people in to sketch and to draw. And we thought that could be an interesting way of kind of stepping into what does it mean to take this space right now and reimagine it through art and through creativity. And so that'll be Tuesday, September 10th at 6 p.m. And I'll send around in my newsletter a way to sign up for that. Second, it's repaving and building season, which is very exciting. And so I think I sent to the Fairhaven CMT list the full list, and so we can add that to the minutes and perhaps add that to the chat. In Ward 9, the 2 places that are going to be repaved and milled are James Street between Castle and Grand, and Lawrence Street between Orange and Nickel. So you'll see a lot of construction in the neighborhoods in the upcoming couple months. And then lastly, this isn't in Fairhaven. This is on the East Rock side of the ward. So Ward 9 includes both East Rock and Fairhaven, but I thought you all might be interested in it. We're piloting this project called the Lawrence Street Plaza, which is where we aim to open up the section of street between State and Mechanic, right between Corsair and the Triangular Memorial Park, and open it for the month of September and pedestrianize it into a shared space in the neighborhood. The goal being twofold. One, people whip around State and shoot down Lawrence. And so open streets are a great tool to mitigate traffic safety and slow down speeds, but also it can be a fun area that people can then utilize. So that's going to be throughout the month of September. We're going to have on September 1st, a launch party where we're going to have the group that does salsa downtown do a lesson and have a salsa dance night to kick off the month. And then every Thursday, we're going to have Thursdays in the plaza where we'll have different open mics and musicians and a food truck come out just to activate that space. And then it'll be also open for the entire month, so you can come there and read or bring breakfast throughout the course of the month. And it's a pilot, so we'll see if we love it. Maybe we can keep it. If we don't love it, we can sort of revisit that at the end of the month and explore. And in the minutes, there'll be a link for updates. So if you want a sort of regular pacing and calendar events, you can sign up for that. And then lastly, I'll pass it to you two. If you just want to share just maybe your favorite part of the day or any part of the day that struck you.
Personally, my favorite part of the day has been going down to City Hall and just seeing what's been happening behind the scenes. And also visiting one small business in East Street. Yeah. It's been really fun to see people like putting their ideas into real life, and yeah.
For me, I think all of the places that we have been my favorite because I just saw different perspectives. I saw a lot of support, a lot of community, a lot of belief in, and I think that was really amazing to see how community works together. And I think like seeing this in person, seeing like people caring about community and seeing people wanting for change and improvement. I think as a person that lives here close to Fairhaven, and I feel really welcome and really, I think, grateful. I think so many times we went to City Hall, we were behind the scenes, and we saw the work that people have put in to make a community feel safe, a community feel welcome. And I think seeing people proud of themselves, seeing people supporting each other, see people giving us advice. I think it's as a young person, as young people, I'm really grateful to have that as an example. And this whole day, I thanked Alder Smith because it's an amazing experience. Junta, Kiana, and in general, I just want to say thank you to everyone here because I feel everyone had put effort in this, and I'm really happy to see this. So yeah.
Two future alders. Thank you.
All right, and did we receive any updates from other, Anna Festa?
We did not.
Okay. Thank you, and Alder Miller is here in house.
Before, I have a few updates, but what I want to say first is, you know, what a lot of us have been working on for many years is building the bench of leaders in Fairhaven, and it's really fun to work with Frank and Caroline. And it's really, I mean, great. I mean, the work of Kiana, the work of Eric, the work of everybody in the management team, like we just have a really strong team. And I think it's just important to say our new police sergeant, you know, we have a really dynamic, complementary, interconnected team in Fairhaven that I really love working with and proud of. So just to say that out loud. So connected to that, I will mention that the community schools project, which I've talked about in the past, is entering its implementation phase with this school year. There is a request for qualifications out for any organization that wants to work with school staff, teachers, families, kids in the school, in any way. We identified some priorities, but they're very broad. So there's a request for qualifications out, and we have some funding that we can attach if people need funding. And there's the flyer, I think I've sent around, but I can send it around again if people don't have it. So it's open to individuals and organizations, and even if you don't need funding, but you just kind of, a lot of times people want to do work in the schools, but they don't know how. So this also provides the framework for just connecting people with collaboration schools. And so we actually have a flyer that has one QR code for the community schools work and one QR code for Atwater Center, because the Atwater Center is also coming online this fall with the opportunity to use it for community programs. So there's a deadline for the community schools, which is the 16th of August, because we've got to get things going for the school year. To apply for the Atwater Center, it's a rolling application. So if you do any kind of activity that you might want to use the Atwater Center for, both of those opportunities are now open. So if I haven't, I don't remember if I've distributed the flyer, but if I haven't, it's definitely on like social media and stuff, and we'll make it available to the management team. Carmen talked a little bit about the clean team. I didn't hear the presentation, but I just want to give like major shout out to the key people. This was also like a totally like DIY, pull it together with duct tape project with all of these like Fairhaven superstars. Rafael Ramos from Bergamo's Theater, the youth at work kids were actually Bergamo's kids because he had the relationship with youth at work. He already was like a youth at work site. And then Bergamo partnered with Junta partnered with LCI, with Grand Avenue Special Services District, and the Clifford Beers team. Eric Gonzalez and Carmen were out like every day with the kids. If you've seen them, they worked so hard. It was such a good experience with the kids. Kiana did a lot in the background too. So like major props to Kiana. There was an article in the Independent. If you didn't see it, it's very sweet, but I think beyond the article and just beyond sort of the idea, it has been a very positive experience. And I think it's something that will keep going in different ways in the future. So there were also many people, including Caroline and Frank and others in the room, who volunteered in different ways to support it for a day, for a few hours. So it was a true community project. I also wanted to mention a soccer program we have going. This is also under the community schools project umbrella. So it's a collaboration with PAL, with the Peace Activity League. They're running a completely free soccer clinic at Martinez every Tuesday. They have like, I don't know, 30, 40 kids there. The group keeps growing and like they start at 4:30 and then kids just start like coming, like flowing in. It's like this magnetic force of soccer in Fairhaven. It's also been like a very joyful, fun, positive experience. It was just going to be July, but the coaches and the families liked it all so much that they're gonna continue through the end of August, and it will transition to some kind of ongoing program for the school. One other just announcement is this Saturday, there's an event at Match, which is to raise awareness about the baby bonds program for the state. Our treasurer, Eric Russell, who's from New Haven, will be there. Match is our contract manufacturing job placement program at 26 Mill Street. So there'll be like ice cream. It's from I think 12 to 3. People don't have, I'll circulate the flyer for that too. It's just a great opportunity to support the baby bonds program, Match, and just connect with your neighbors.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Really appreciate it.
Any questions?
Any questions, anyone, either online or?
Ready for Frank?
All right, thank you all very much.
Sorry, could we crack your topic there?
Other Frank, welcome. Board 15.
Ward 15, Frank Verdenti, thank you for having me. Sorry for being late. Let me first say, pick up where Sarah left off. This team has been incredible. I didn't expect this, getting into this, that I would have teammates like this that I can count on pretty much whenever. Sarah gets a little upset when I call her early in the morning, but she'll get over it. But I also want to congratulate Sarah on her appointment. I think City Seat is in great hands, and I'm anxious to see and excited to see what's going to happen over there. I just wanted to note some changes that I've seen in the area. I also work as a street outreach worker. And Ferry Street, Ferry Chatham especially is in my ward, and we've battled with drug dealing and stuff out there. And I wanted to thank Sergeant Alvarado, who's here. Hit the ground running, and his first 2 weeks, Ferry Chatham was a ghost town. There was, they snuck around corners and hid, but they knew there was a new sheriff in town, and I'm already starting to see the fruits of his labor. So please take your time to introduce yourself to him and thank him for the hard work. 480 Ferry, which has also been a problem, Ruplo Manor. We have a new police officer, Officer Aviles, who will be moving in to a first floor apartment there soon. So we're hoping to see big changes over there at 480. As Caroline said, street paving and sidewalks being done. Please be patient. I've gotten a lot of calls, like right in the beginning of the job, saying it's not getting done right. Let them finish. If there is a problem, let me know via email or call. I'll leave my cards up here. I would call the engineer. Somebody will get out. We did have a problem on Peck Street, and it was fixed right away. So just be patient. Give me a call. I was recently assigned to a new Board of Ed committee / working group to address smoke shops and come up with new legislation around smoke shops, and also to a lesser degree, convenience stores and package stores. Something that we've done, this team is Lieutenant Fumiati started, but we picked up the mantle, the Fairhaven Issues team, where we meet bi-weekly and we discuss crime, areas of blight, litter, needles, parking issues, and other nuisances. If you have any issues that are going on in your neighborhood and you feel like you not getting any help, please post it on SeeClickFix. Notify me. If it's illegal activity, call the police non-emergency number at 203-946-6316. It's very important that we do this so we can document what's going on. Because if I call and say, hey, this is going on here, and they go and they look and nobody's reported it, nobody's calling non-emergency, they're going to, frankly, we're not getting any residence calls, and it's just the Alder saying it. So please, if you're having issues, let's document them so we can get them cleaned up. And as far as cleanups, we're going to be doing a bunch of them, as well as working with the cleaning team on areas. So if you're interested in being a part of a community cleanup in Ward 15, you can also email me and let me know. And lastly, something that came up in the Fairhaven Issues team meeting, and I know a lot of residents in 15 and 14 have complained about the parking on Clinton Avenue between Chatham Street and Grafton Street, in particular across the street from the package store. If you notice, there's usually double parking on both sides of the street, in the bike lanes, a lot of hanging out, a lot of drinking. We are trying to address it. We're trying to come up with creative solutions. One thing that has come up and we're gonna need, to poll residents is we would like to eliminate the parking on the park side of Clinton Avenue, across from the package store. So, please, if you want to email me and give me your 2 cents, let me know. I'm gonna work on getting a survey out soon. For that and other things around Chatham Park, because that going forward over the next few months is gonna be my #1 priority. Now that I've got, Sarge backing me up on Ferry Street and things are starting to move, I can move my attention to Chatham Street where the park is in dire shape and we need everybody's help. So please email me any suggestions, concerns, and please try to stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much. And did we get any updates from Ward 16 Albert Jose Crespo?
We did not.
All right, and of course, you can certainly reach out to all of the Alders. We have their phone number and email address within the agenda, and we'll send that out also in the e-blast. So if you do not see your Alder here, I know Alder Cooper is recuperating, but if you don't see Alder, for example, Alder Crespo, just feel free to call him, email him to invite him to the meetings or to address any issues that he handles in Ward 16 at any time. And if there are no additional questions, comments, then I would like to officially call the meeting to a close. Second. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us for the August meeting. I can't believe we're almost done with summer. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, Liz, for meeting so actively.
I got a notice during the meeting that street sweeping's coming through. So don't get your car towed. See you next month, everyone.
Are you